and the camera's recording. The voice recorder's recording. Hi, John here, Auckland, New Zealand. Just bringing you up to date where we are with the MOAI levy warrant, the arrest property warrant, and also with the lawyer Utai Choi, the QC Notary Public, that have got our papers now, and he'll be back on Monday from overseas to hopefully meet with me. And so that's the bank in place now, the ANZ Bank, the biggest bank here in New Zealand. Julie Sewell, manager, I've known him for quite a while, and also Chris Taylor from PricewaterhouseCoopers. I've known him for a long time, since 2005, when we first embarked on this project with the energy in Kaipara Harbour and in the East Cape on the Marangaro C12 block, and also Lottin Point on the way through. Those projects will go ahead now with the funding that we'll acquire from the recovery and salvage of fraud properties. I'm operating as a private prosecutor and private investigator. Just taken 6 years to do this one property in 61 Cook Street. All the history of it is in place on Facebook, you can see it, and it's undoubtedly unrefuted by anybody here. The iwis, the Maoris, and also the Crown cannot refute any of what's in the documents here. That's this book here. This is a court, a portable court to the High Court of Admiralty in London. That's all court cases in this is below 2 hours. It has to be done in 2 hours for the High Court of Admiralty in London online. So all our cases are online and quickly dealt with. They are either right or wrong. You have to get it right, I have to get it right. I can't make a mistake, and neither can the one I'm accusing. So everyone we've accused have stayed silent, said nothing, and so they lose. The matter's closed now. So I'm leaving it up to the lawyer to draft the conveyancing papers, the legal instruments of title transfer from the people who are there, the owners, back to the ownership of the King William IV, and MOAI Crown. Trust. It's a trust set up in Devonport, his naval base estate property in England, Plymouth. Okay, so that's all in place. The lawyer's got that. The bank has been over this document, this book. The bank has been over this book. There's 129 pages, plus another 15 pages of the tenancy agreement for those people on Cook Street, 61 Cook Street. We're going to issue a new tenancy agreement through the lawyer. He's a notary public QC lawyer and international commercial contract lawyer with Hickson's Lawyers Australia. So they're barristers, lawyers, and especially in our case, contract lawyers of lien, mortgage, commercial liens. Okay, so when you're dealing with commercial liens, that's Admiralty. That's Admiralty.
For collective defence.
So, sorry about that. So that's what I'm saying is this is very serious things that are outside the jurisdiction of New Zealand courts. What I'm doing is not in their courts. They cannot handle anything over 200 million, let alone the 5 billion. This is worth 5 billion. This is for 61 Cook Street, this book. Okay, so that's condensed in history, in titles, in the original titles of the Rogan judges and lawyers and surveyors at the time of 1840. Okay, so that's the British titles I'm talking about, not the Land Information LINZ titles to Australia underneath Queen Victoria. So Queen Victoria's is gone from England now with the Queen Elizabeth into the European Union Parliament and government. She's gone there now as a threat of no interest. She's a threat of the interest of the British, UK government and Westminster and the contract with us. Okay, we're in a commercial lien contract. The mortgage is an Admiralty court martial order. That. Okay, so that's highest in the world apart from MOAI here. MOAI here, God's law. The truth. I'm going under MOAI's law, L-O-R-E, truth. My word against yours. If you're wrong, you lose. So far, it's been straight. And that's the problem that the government here will have, and all the Commonwealth governments, their prime ministers, they'll have problems with this book because they can't face it. It's truth, and they can't come up with the truth because they've been so conditioned to be fraud and corrupted system in the Queen's Court, Wellington, right? The Queen's government, Wellington, under the New South Wales government and their Commonwealth government of Australia, the Commonwealth of Australia in Canberra. So those are subject to this Admiralty of King William IV and King George III, okay? And not Queen Victoria doesn't come into it. Although she's a monarch and she's got a coronation, King William IV has a coronation, and King James Stuart, S-T-U-A-R-T, has a coronation. Those three, the only ones that got a true, genuine coronation. The Queen Elizabeth hasn't got a coronation. She's run off, she's abandoned ship. That means in Admiralty terms of mortgage liens, commercial liens, she's did a runner and gone to the EU to hide the spoils. She's cleaned out the HM Treasury as far as George Lees. He's an ex-serviceman in the Air Force, and Gordon Bowden, he's a ex-military, and also John Patterson, he's an ex-detective, and Matt Taylor, he's an ex-military police. Okay, so I'm working with, that's my crew over there in England, and especially Matt Taylor. He's running our business, the MOAI Crown King William IV business over there till I get there with Jamie Stewart, my secretary. Okay, so we're about ready to go there after we finish the Cook Street property with the lawyer, and so he's going to draft the papers up for the £5 billion notes against the levy debtors, who are all the people accused of being accessories to Doug Rickard Bell on 61 Cook Street, including the owners that are there now. They're subject to this book and anything in it, because they would have got it by now in all these 6 years that I've been telling the public in the world. They're all watching as witnesses, and there's no need for a judge to inquire into it because they can't, because everybody knows it's a fraud, except the CIB and the Serious Fraud Office. They're saying, oh, it's outside their criteria, whatever that means. So the British military are watching this, okay? The British military, police, the British High Court is watching this book because they're our partners. Okay, I'm just telling the people in the UK, the British UK owns all that the Queen has stolen off the soil land of England and taken it somewhere else. We'll recover it with this and the pound note. We'll recover the whole lot by printing the pound note in England in Devonport. We'll open it up as a parliament and a government and run it from there as a High Court of Admiralty on that land as a King's Bench and King's Royal Revenue, the creditor, and also it's the King's Lords no more in Westminster, because we don't need the Lords. I'm there as the surrogate king, King William, surrogate. I mean, they're speaking for him. Okay, and I know what to do. I'm very confident at what I do for King William here. That's him there, okay? So that's him there. I'm talking for him and his gold money. All his coins and all his acts of Westminster Parliament is in here from 1830 to 1837. So I'm just bringing you up to speed on every little development all the way through the 6 years of affidavits. There's over 3,000 of them on Facebook and Twitter and Google and YouTube. So everything is a statement and you had to refute it when it happened. So the people that I've accused have been caught before the fraud, during the fraud and after the fraud, including the Queen. So they were all subject to her fraud. Okay, so I've proved that she's a fraud. She's got a warrant on her arrest from the World Court, and we've got a warrant for her arrest as well, because in my own research, it'll only take a monarch, sovereign person, to arrest another monarch, sovereign person, and that's the sheriff's badge there. Okay, the 6-point star on the flag, on this flag here, as you see, the King William IV 1835 Declaration of Independence Sovereign Nation State flag. It's a commercial lien flag, mortgage flag, bank trading flag of England. Bank of England, all the acts are in here, that he was the only one that put these acts into the commercial law to go around the world. Not just around Europe, but around the world. There's the pound note there we're going to write up. That's the £1 note against the levy debtors. And we're going to put a certificate together with the lawyer, Utah Choi, and he will legalise it. Okay, so there's the £50 note Scottish. We can also do the Scottish pound note and send it around the world on this flag. It's going to 250 countries straight away with these notes. This is a trillion pound note, King William IV MOAI Crown pound note. Okay, so it'll be called the British UK Pacific World Bank. Okay, not the Bank of England. We're going to shut it down. We're going to foreclose the Rothschild Bank, okay, of England, the central banking system, and kick it off with this, with the new Westminster government. So what in fact happens here is that we open up the new King William IV High Court of Admiralty, with the highest law in the land is this, his acts, at that time, the 1830 to 1837. We're starting off this government from that, because we haven't used it yet. We have every legal right as British citizens, that means, under this flag, of free trade through the world, free passage. Under this flag, with the trade and the Bank of England, we're going to shut down and open this bank with his money, his coins, all the pennies, the threepence, the sixpence, the 2 bob, the shilling, the half crown, the crown, and the coronation. So we've got to mint those with the recovered gold that the Queen has stolen. It doesn't matter where it's stored. We'll pay the military with these pound notes, and they'll go after it. And the military police, and also the private investigators will go and get it. So we have our law there with the hanging rope. So the Queen is qualified herself to be on the end of that. Okay, that's no joke. That's the King talking. That's in the Acts. See? So it's in the Acts. The Hanging and Chains Act, 1834. The Writs of Execution Act, 1833, 67. Admiralty Act, 1832. Punishment of Death, etc. Acts, 1832. Okay, so on it goes. Trial of felonies in the Certain Boroughs Act, 1834. Bankruptcy Act, 1835. So we're going to bankrupt a lot of people. All those businesses who have duped the system. Okay, Crown and Chancery Act, 1835, 47 part. Customs Act, 1835. Declarations Act, there's this flag, 1835, C8. Okay, so the declarations, etc., to be taken by Sheriff's Act, right? The Sheriff's badge there, right? We're going to carry the badge as a High Court of Admiralty Marshal, Court Marshal, that authorises the seizure of the land. So I'm going there with the badge, this book, it's got the badge on it, and seize 61 Cook Street with this authority, the higher authority than the jurisdiction of Admiralty here. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say quite clearly. It's going under the Insolvent Debtors India Act 1834-79. See, King William, again in India. So that's covering the surrogate king is the captain of the ship. I'm the captain of the ship, okay? Private contract. Commercial liens. Insolvent Debtors India Act 1834, Part 79. Okay? Buckingham Palace Act 1833, C 81. See? Seize that land, Buckingham Palace, back into the King's possession. Okay? So we're repossessing 61 Cook Street. We're repossessing everything that belonged to the King back to the people of the will. Okay? Back to the people of the will. Criminal Law Act 1833, C 44. Inheritance Act 1833, C 106. 104. Bank Notes Act 1833, C 83. See, there's the notes for printing the notes. That's our authority still there. We haven't used it yet. We're just about to use it. And the Roman Catholic Charities Act 1832C. We're going to investigate that act to see whose flag they use in commercial contracts, because they're not supposed to be in commercial contract, private business. That's our contract that they've violated under these acts, okay, of Britain. Right? Now that she's out of Britain, she's out of our road, it's left a void for the head trustee of Queen Victoria Trust. I'm going there to be the head of Queen Victoria Trust between Britain, UK, Westminster government and us, the Hapu Natives Trust of Queen Victoria 1844 trust between us and them, nobody else. Right? Wherever the Queen Elizabeth took that money and invested over the will, it's not our concern, because she's only the head trustee. I'm going to sack Matt Taylor, and you fellows in England, going to sack her when I get there. Okay? Literally. Go to court, the High Court of Admiralty, make a case, put the debt in there of this whole book, 970 million trillion pound notes in gold bullion and pound notes, and do the same as what I'm just doing here now with the lawyer and the bank and the PricewaterhouseCoopers to account for every scrapping cent. Okay? So you got the Customs and Excise Revenues Audit Scotland Act 1832 C 103, the Scottish Act, because they're the ones that created the instruments, the legal land title certificate of seizure of lands to make bank loans, okay, with those instruments. So I'm just reversing it and putting it back to the original owners of the land and start from scratch, where you can't, it's down the mail line. The Queen has suddenly switched everything over from the mail line that's been in Britain for years and years, then turned it over to the Queen, to the female side, so she can screw everything out of it. Now, we're going there to turn it back into the mail line on King William's property. Okay, so they've got a higher authority over the courts. And we're going to transfer the powers of that Parliament and government on Devonport, King William's court, and his bank we're going to set up there as the monarch sovereign crown, and transfer its powers of Admiralty to Westminster. Okay, Matt? That's how it's going to work. And Nicola Sturgeon, the first Prime Minister of Scotland, I'm hoping to have a talk with you. We're hoping to get there by Christmas, before Christmas. If we've got this sorted out, we'll be on our way there and put the flag up. Once we get that flag up, that's it. On the soil there, with me standing there to speak for the King, you might as well forget all the lords in the upper house, House of Lords, okay? The House of Commons. the lower house, is subject to what's in this book, in this flag. Okay, I'm just telling you what I know is true. Crown Lands Scotland Act 1833, the Crown Lands, right? We're the Crown. We're the Crown that's taken over here. And the Commonwealth, taking the Commonwealth over. Matt, Taylor. Crown Lands Scotland Act 1833 C 6900, and then you've got this last one here on this one page with the hanging rope, that hanging rope, okay. Writs of Execution Act 1833 C 67. We can apply these to the criminals, the paedophiles, like Putin's going to electrically castrate them. We're going to do one more than that. We're going to hang them right in front of everybody on the dock, on the dock, okay, in the dock, and that's a real dock. So that's, I'm just being graphic there. We're going under this coat of arms between England and Scotland, and also we're going to shift the Hanover to one side, because we're not going to speak for them in this case, because the Queen's gone and taken their monarchy's family, the royal families, off England. Okay, she's still there, but she won't be standing around there too long. And Charlie and Prince William doesn't want to be King of England because he knows he's going to get hung if he goes anywhere near trying to be a King of England when his father is Spanish. It's nothing to do with an Englishman. Rogan's is my family, English in England. Okay, I'm going there as Rogans, and Dick Rogan in my family, and John Rogan, the judge. You see, they're the ones with the law, while I'm going law in England. So I have every right as a British citizen, once the flag is up, declare it with the declaration flag, 1835, then proclaim it back to the King. Everything back to the King. 61 Cook Street back to the King, okay, of England. So that's what I'm just saying. I'm going to ring him up now, Chris Taylor from PricewaterhouseCoopers, and I've got a lot of things to catch up with him, and so he'll be looking at hooking up with the recovered money. So we're going to recover enough to get us going, and then I'll take over the rest after the 10 million and recover the rest myself, the 5 billion. Okay, I know what to do to recover it without getting lost with this and that. Okay, so here goes. I'll just ring Chris's office and Elaine. Right, here you go. Hope so. Here goes. Chris, John Wanoa here.
G'day, how are you?
Good, thanks. Look, I just want to bring you up to what's happened at the moment with this 61 Cook Street.
Yeah.
It's all go now. I've been down the bank, so they're quite happy. They've got the whole documentation of it, the history and what's of the fraud of it. So they're quite accustomed to foreclosing that property. So the lawyer's got it. The Yu Tai Choi. He's a QC notary, public QC, who signed the documents, those documents that went to the High Court of Admiralty in London. So all of that's done. What I'm saying is I'm going to get a 10 million overdraft from the bank on the instrument that he's going to put together on Monday. That's what the bank is waiting for. And he could have arrested the property himself, the lawyer, but I felt that the bank would do a better job, and on my behalf as a client for a long time. So I've already got an overdraft in there, facility, not much, but it's I just get that increased, then we can start paying things. And so that's the other thing is that the project is ready to go in Scotland, in the Pentland Firth, with the turbines. And so COWI Design Engineers in Denmark, they've got the plans for the whole project. So they did the sub-tunnels underneath Calais to Dover, all that, the motorway under the sea. and 50 metres down, and also in Suban in South Korea. Now, Choi is a South Korean, and they are the lawyers with Hickson's, the commercial contract lawyers that are handling my cases. And they do all the Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, and I think they're the biggest of the industries. Hyundai and Daewoo, which I'll be going to South Korea. There's shipyards lying up, and so Thing is a consultant. Choi is a consultant for all of that, with PricewaterhouseCoopers. Is with COWI in Denmark. Okay. So I'm already with them, and I didn't have the money to pay them, the same as you. So now I'm in a position to, with the lawyer, it should happen quite quickly, because they are quite happy with the documents. He said yes, he'll go ahead and do it, and they know it's a fraud, but they're not going to tell me, and I know very well. The police know, because I've been educating them on what has happened with the jurisdictions, the several jurisdictions, but the Admiralty being above the whole lot of them. And so they're quite satisfied at the moment that I'm sticking within the law. So I'm not going to go and seize it myself as a surrogate king. I'm standing in for King William as a surrogate king, and it's been confirmed in England. So I've got a crew over there of ex-military police and detectives, and also one of the Matt Taylor, he's in the Brighton as a MP with his own party. So he's helping me in Devonport over there, where King William's estate is. I'm going to go straight there after this one and seize that one as a courthouse, because the Westminster is in a mess now, with the Scottish pulled out. They pulled out, and the US dollar's going down. Putin has joined India and France and India and China and Germany now. And so they've got the UN and the ruble, and Germany's still scratching its head after the G20 in Australia. I've been following these things all the way through. So I'm very well up to the politics. I'm going as a candidate under this flag we've got in Devonport. As soon as I put the flag up, that's it. Because they've got no queen now. She's gone to EU Parliament and Brussels, so she's cleared out HM Treasury. That's what George Lee said. He's the ex-military guy, so he's got all the thing to say so when I get there. So all that's going to do is I'm going as creditor, and that's all on Facebook. The whole lot is all on Facebook.
Okay, I'll go and have a look.
Yeah, you'll have a look at me. Just type in John Wanoa in Google and YouTube. There's plenty of stuff on YouTube, and it's factual, and it's been there for 6 years now, all the way through, documenting every single thing for the police. So the police cannot come into the commercial contract, private contract. So I think you're familiar with that. But all I wanted to do was just to let you know, so that I can pick up where we were before with the projects and with accounting, because it's just too big for anybody else to handle on a scale like that. It's all in place, and all the lawyer has to do is to do the conveyancing, put it over to the bank, and that's the end of that. So we can start paying COWI, pay you to do the accounts over there in England. I'm going there to set up a base over there for the shares over there. And do you know somebody in the share registry that can take off with the shares? It's sitting on my site, and you go MOAIPowerhouse.com, and that's the site there with the pound. Everything's in pound notes.
Look, I don't know, not in...
Oh, I see.
I don't know.
No, that's okay. So now I'm using King William's pound notes and his coins to remint them against the levy debtors, and that's all ready to go. So that's, the bank knows they'll buy these off, because if they've got no US dollars to buy at the World Bank, then this is the other alternative, to go straight into into the foreign currency account. So I'm going to write up the certificate with the lawyer of the amount of 5 billion New Zealand dollars here. Well, that's 2.517800 billion pound notes.
Yeah.
And so that makes sense. She said, okay, you've done a lot of work. This is Julie Sewell. She's the manager of the ANZ on Queen Street. She's it's the main branch.
Yeah.
I've known her for a long time.
Okay.
So she knows my track record. And the last time I got caught going over to pick up 16.8 million, it was a fraud. So I got to chase after that in England.
Yeah.
That's when I got ripped off with a lawyer there in the Lloyd's Bank.
Yeah.
So
you
that,
be careful.
yeah, no, this time is okay because I'm the lawyer's onto it.
Yeah.
And well, with you there, you know, it's that side of the whole commerce to get it around. So all the legal stuff is there. I'll send you the warrant with the 129 pages of everything.
Okay.
It's online anyway. Well, you can download it off.
It's online.
Yeah, take it off Facebook.
Yeah.
On my album. You'll see it there. You'll see all the legal stuff of the whole lot.
Okay.
So I've got nothing here for anybody to print. It's all out there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll have a look at it then.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good.
And you have any spare office up there if I'm going to be like that? Any space?
It's all like plan and stuff here, so we sort of don't have sort of spare offices and things.
Oh, okay. So no, that's okay because I'll just set up on Cook Street.
Yeah.
I've got it's a 115-story building. I've got plans for it.
Oh right.
COWI can put all that together later stuff. So those plans were already there, but they ran out of money, and got foreclosed.
Right.
But because it landed up the way it did, there's a lot of people involved in the whole deal, fraud. But that was the original plan, is 115 stories. So it's going up.
Okay.
As soon as I get it, so that's another project. They'll ship the submarine I've designed for the title to take all the metal and all that out. That's all ready to go.
Okay.
So you'll see all those stuff on Facebook.
Right. That sounds good. I'll go and have a look.
Okay then?
Okay.
Okay, cheers Chris. Nice to hear you. Bye. So there you are. That's Chris Taylor. PricewaterhouseCoopers, we're just like good friends. But he's very well, he's got all these plans. He knows what this thing inside out. He'll approve the tidal energy plan. He's controlling all the energy through the world as more or less the main branch person. And it's not very often that I can get him because he's always overseas. But every time I get to talk to him, it's always like this. Okay, it's always like this. And very meaningful, and I know he approves the whole tidal energy turbine as viable, and it's going to be a big hit. Jamie, that's the man. You'll get to meet when you come to Auckland. We'll go down to the Sky Tower and sit there and have something nice to eat for a change instead of bread and butter. But I'm just joking. So I'm happy. We've got the accountant, the best, to convince the bank and to convince the lawyer that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to commerce, banking, law and trading. I've learnt from the mistakes of others, and you heard what I said about the bank manager in Britain that ripped me off for 16.8 million bucks. That's a lot of money. And it's gone somewhere, or it's in the system. But the CIB here said it's a fraud. Okay, so they couldn't do anything. It's outside their jurisdiction here, doing anything over there. And it's too expensive to go and chase it anyway. They've got no money to do it unless I pay them. That's what happened to Aylett, Graham Aylett. I think he might be doing private investigation stuff for the police prosecutor. Okay, so they've got their own private prosecutions now, the police, right? And so they're raking the money in for themselves, for the Queen. So you got the police prosecutor, he collects the revenue in the court for the state in Wellington, John Key's government. On the other hand, the private police prosecutor is collecting all the spoils of what they recover from any fraud or any seas land or anything, straight to the Queen. That's where I'm going, straight into that, to investigate them with the warrant, this warrant, certified from England. Okay? So as that's it, we come back here and investigate everybody. So I'll bring the military back. We'll have the pound notes, Matt, to pay everybody to go and look for that gold, seize it, because it belongs to the British people, UK, including Ireland, Scotland, Wales and England, and the Pacific Islands here, and all the immigrants that came here on King William's ticket, on this. They all came here on this 1835 Declaration of Independence flag, okay? No doubt. India, you heard me say it, 1834 Act, India is King William, okay? King George, King William, okay? King George the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and King William is a George, right? King William, 1830, 1837. Okay, so I'm happy that we've had our little talk, and I've got it straight away. That was a stroke of luck, but I'm happy to report to my crew, Desmond, Dean, Paul, and Matt, and Kevin, Jamie, and myself. I don't think I missed anybody out, but that's it. I just want to say we're having very much success here today, and I'm going to finish this little video on a happy note that we are going, it's all in the hands of Yu Tai Choi, our lawyer. Okay, so I'm going to make it this way. Going to print the pound note, like Jamie's finishing off the £1 billion note. We're going to put King William's head on that. And the £100 million note, we'll put Jamie's head on that. And the £1 million note, we're going to put Matt Taylor's head on that. And the £100,000 note, we're going to put Adelaide head on it. She's the consort in Adelaide, Australia. That was King William's last wife. Okay? That's his wife. So her name and her head goes on the pound note and also on the coin. There's already coins with her head on it in the gold. Right? King William's already got his coins. We're going to mint the same head. Okay? And mint everything that's got King William on it. Exactly like that. And then we're going to put our coins in ourselves, the MOAI coins, with the MOAI head on it, and also whatever, our head's the Stuart. We're going to put King James Stuart, S-T-U-A-R-T, on the coins and a pound note. Okay, so that's the other one, Jamie, that you're going to have to figure out. We're running out of time, but as long as we got the notes there to show, to cover the 2.517 800 000, so that's 2.517 800 billion pound notes. Converted to New Zealand dollars is 5 billion New Zealand dollars in a certificate. We're going to one-page certificate with that amount on it, 2.517 800 000 billion pound note certificate. Deposited with the lawyer to legalise the currency against the levy debtors. All those people I've named in the fraud, you're on the levy debtors. You owe all that money. Okay, we're going to seize everything right up to $5 billion. And that's your bad luck, because it's a commercial lien. That's your bad luck for not answering and challenging your name on Facebook. That's what the cost is. Chris Taylor knows. He knows. He's watching this. He's going to watch everything now. You see, just because I told him, oh, I'll pay you now, because he said, when you find an investor, then he'll do it. Well, I'm just saying, oh, I've set up the investment myself. So that's the investor. It's just telling them the people is the collateral, and the land seized and everything to mount right up to that. So they'll be stripped of everything for shutting them out. John Key, you're one of them. Okay? You're only going to get billed once, so you're going to lose the lot. I'm just saying, that's MOAI speaking. God, law, earth, and King William. Okay, so one more time. I'm acting as MOAI here. Law, truth, that's all it is. My word in here against yours. It's all in this book. And King William's law, right, of the acts of his parliament at that time of 1830 to 1837. None other time. Only that. We're going to make a new set of rules from there with the Hanging Chains Act. Okay, we are allowed to do what we want because of the commercial contract, private contract between us and him in Britain. So the British people, take a leaf out of this book. We're still in business together without the Queen. She's not coming back. She's gone. Right? She's gone. And it's all ours now to recover every scrapping cent she's stolen from our trust. Right? From the Queen Victoria Trust. Queen Victoria's gone too. So unfortunately for Greg Hallett and every other claim under Queen Victoria in Australia, I'm sorry, the King prevails. Because it wasn't the Queen that put these acts together and the Admiralty to make mortgages and bank loans. And the Bank Acts and the Money Act is in this book. Okay? So the Queen didn't make any laws. This guy did. And they altered it to fit themselves, and they shut down all the bits that they didn't like. So we're starting from fresh from here. Clean slate. No debts. This is a creditor. Okay? This is the creditor. And that's my job, and Jamie, to go there and pick up the people in Plymouth. If you're watching the video, people in Plymouth and Devonport, better get the bagpipes going, because we're coming there and you people will be well off. And there's some other people been watching too in Surrey and Dover. So we've got the tidal projects, and Chris is going straight into it with COWI, because COWI's accountants is PricewaterhouseCoopers, and also COWI's office is in England, London, and also PricewaterhouseCoopers are going straight in there. It's up the road from the courthouse. Okay? David Lindsay Mackey, he's the High Court judge for this. His name is in here. Okay? His photo's in here. Okay? With the rest of them over there. They know. That's why no one's going near it. No one's going near it. They don't have jurisdiction over this king. Okay? So the king is taking over the void that the Queen has stepped out of, England's trust. The trust, the money belongs on England's soil, land. Okay? All that gold, it's supposed to be in the Treasury. We'll seize the lot with this order, right, under the King's Bench. And then when we transfer the powers into the courthouse, the Rolls building, with David Lindsay Mackey, he's under the Queen's Council, the Queen's Bench. He's not there, with no Queen in residence there as such on documents, not as a person. She's a private company. She's a business person like me. That's why I can sue her and bill her, because she's on her own now. She's caught herself out, right, as a business person with her own companies, Buckingham Palace and Queen Elizabeth, that's another business, and Her Majesty and Right of New Zealand and Australia, Canada and Britain. Okay, so everything with her feet on it, the courts, everything are all debtors. We're going to make the recovery amount of 970 million trillion divided into 7 billion people. Okay, no matter what, who they are, they'll claim this. I'm telling you, people in the world watching this video, and there's people here in New Zealand and the Pacific Islands, you have a legal right under this law of Admiralty of the sea, the King of the Sea, that's it, the King of the Sea, to recover that money with us. It's yours, okay? I'm only there to adjudicate it and to make sure the law stands up with it in the courts. So we'll transfer these powers from Devonport into Westminster as Parliament. The new Westminster Parliament will be under the King from now on, under the King, Matt. And the High Court of Admiralty in London will be under the King's Bench, right? Under the King's Bench. So that means David Lindsay Mackey, if you're watching this, you'll be under the King's Bench, right? Because I'm sacking the Queen off the land of England. Okay, because I've got a legal right to be there under Rogans, the judges. Check your books, and check the names here. Okay, okay, that's all. That's all I want to say. It's a bit long, but I'm sure you'll be well informed that we are confident and we are robust and we have our facts in the right place for people who've been doubting us and saying nasty things about, well, we'll believe it when we see it. And we're going to forget about all that now. We're not going to worry about anybody but doing our business. Okay, we could be anywhere in the world in 250 countries now under this flag from Monday. Okay, we're trading already. We're already on the land in England. Let's start doing this from the lawyer here. It didn't matter a lawyer here or there. They're still the same, with the Queen's head as being the debtor. Okay, Queen's head being debtor. You get a bill. Anybody with these names in this book, in the box, you're up against that as the debtors. Okay? That's only one block of land, 5 billion. The next one, we've got to knock the doors on the next one. We've got some people to do that. Okay, they're called sheriffs. Right? The sheriffs will go all over the place and check every bit of land. Even those people spraying the skies, you're going to lose all those aircraft. You're going to lose, I'm telling you now, anybody caught spraying those skies, we're getting helicopters across the shore with Peter Maloney. We're going to buy those helicopters, those Rolls-Royce, 6-seater, brand new. We're going to buy them to go around the country and check. They're fast, because it's going to take the seats out, the 6 seats out, and leave 2. And that's it. It's going to have more fuel to get further and faster out there to go and chase those planes, take their numbers, follow them back to where they land, seize them. You're going to lose everything. I'm just warning you, people. I'm warning you. Anybody in New Zealand caught polluting the waters, the sea, drilling holes in the sea, anywhere where we go, we seize all your drill rigs. No matter what. It's a business. It's a commercial business. You have no right over the King with the Admiralty law in the sea. This is the sea law. Okay, so I'm just warning you, Jonky, you're going to lose everything anyway because your name's been in the box for some time now, over 6 years. Helen Clark, you won't be there very long, right, because your head's coming back here and going straight into England in the prison, right, or in the hanging noose. If you start kicking and putting up a fuss, you'll end up in court, okay? And America can't hold anybody back because the military will go there. And we're taking over the Queen position anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. This is not a threat. This is, I'm saying that because somebody else takes over. It's too many people know now. And so the British will take over. See, the military. They'll take over because they're getting paid. They're going to get paid to recover all that money, recover all the land. The ship that got Queen Elizabeth's name on that Navy ship, the new one, the Queen Elizabeth, the name will be taken off and King William's name put on. Right? Everything with the Queen on will have King William's name on it now. King William IV. Okay? Because Jeff Foley, HRH Jeff Foley is the King of Wales, the King of England. He'll have some time to get past this. It's the people's choice to change from this king to his king, but I'm supporting him as the King of England because he's got the right credentials to be King of England. And I'm there anyway to make the transition if everything goes as smoothly as it's going to, but at the end of the day, the commerce, the banks, the money, the assets belong to the King of England. No other king or queen. He's the last King of England. And he's the only one with the seals across the top. You see the seals? Authenticating these documents. Chris Taylor, you're watching video? You just got off the phone to you. These are authenticated documents with the seal of a king, not a paddle that the Supreme Court here has got with John Key and Dame Sean Elias, Chief Justice. She's implicated in the fraud. Her name's in here, in the fraud, with QC Peter Williams. Okay, he's in the drug trade with all the rest of them, Faye Wishwright and Michael Faye. All those guys are going to lose it. Even Bailey's for selling the property when I said don't sell it. Well, they underestimated me and thought I was nothing. Okay, I've been in real estate for some time, so I know what I'm talking about, real estate. I saw what they were doing when Jamie Peters told me to do the title. And Jamie Peters is in this block I'm in. So this one, the people watching this video that's in this 426 bar 2, Tapora place, I'm here for a reason. You know what it is? To seize it back. Because it wasn't Ngāti Whātua's land in the first place. It's the Manukau, the Parapara, and the Wanoa title. No matter what anybody says, it's in here with the Rogans. Okay? No say. The British brought you here. And the British can take you out. So, that's how it goes. The British military will be going down the east coast at Rangitukia, Tamati Reed. You're in charge of that. You'll have Matt down there, not Matt, Paul and Desmond. Paul is very good. He does the land titles, straight into the land information, and he knows every block of land. The Maori land doesn't matter. He knows what to do. And Dean Murray, he'll be running the courthouse in Auckland. Okay, he knows what to do with these flags, and him being conversant with the Confederation stuff. Okay, so we're doing all that, and Kingi and them up Waitangi. I'm not forgetting about you guys, the taumata on Te Tii Marae, watching this video. I'm doing these now because you people are waiting because you signed it. You signed to allow me to go to England with a mandate. I'm going there not by myself. It's not for me to say what, but it's the conveyancing, the legal part of the land. The land is still there, belongs to the native, but the commerce is another layer on top, right? So that's the part that's got interest in people sitting on it. Okay, so those people on Cook Street, the tenants, will be coming in to, our man will be coming in to do the new tenancy agreements. I'm putting them together. Well, they're all done. I'll just have to go through the lawyer with it. And so you'll have better conditions than what you have there now. And all the occupation, ground rental, will go into the King's Trust. You're part of the King's Trust when you join up as a member. £35, £10 for an annual fee, and £25 a share with the tidal energy hydrogen jet fuel and hydrogen metal fuel for the rockets. Okay, so that's the business of that, and the rest is nothing to do with the government. Okay, so you're coming. That's a sovereign state, by the way, and Lottin Point Motel. We can seize that straight away. So Desmond and Paul will go and sort that one out, but those owners have been ignorant, but we're going to sort something out for them. The government is liable to pay them out. Okay, I'm going to be nice to you people at Lottin Point. You'll get what I say you're going to get, and you should take it. Okay, don't turn it down, because that's going to be the best offer. And the government will pay for that through the same as what we're recovering. We'll have that covered. Okay, and nobody's going to be out of pocket as such. I'm not going to do that unless they put up a fight. The Woods block next door, Brian Woods, you're going to lose that, okay, because that's going back into the big projects around there. Tough, but you show me your title where you got it from. Okay, you have to show me where you got that title from, because Paul will come and check your title. If you don't comply, then the British will come in and seize it, the military. Okay.